Hi, and welcome back. I'm so glad you joined me to continue on with our phonics program. Remember, phonics is just letter sounds. With my preschoolers, we learned all about letters and letter sounds. My name's Miss Bridget. I'm a teacher. I've taught many years. I've taught 3 and 4 and 5-year-olds, and we learned a little bit about reading. And in order to read, we learned we had to learn our letter sounds first. So on we go. Do you remember what letter we're on next? Comes right after F. Right, G. And remember, G makes the G sound. Each letter has an uppercase and a lowercase letter. That means a big letter and a small letter. And this G has the sound of G. G. There happens to be a goat in this picture. And remember, we're learning the sign language for each letter. Each letter has its own sign language. And this one, in order to make it, make a fist. Turn it sideways, put your index finger out and your thumb out. It looks like you're telling someone just a little bit. Just a little bit is what it looks like you're doing. And you can do it this way or that way. In the picture, it looks like they have it this way. So let's do that. Just a little bit. That's the letter G. And G says G. Now remember, we have an animal for each letter. Our animal this week is not a goat. Can you think of another animal that has a G sound? Our cheer is going to be a G sound. Let's think. I wonder if you came up with a gorilla. A gorilla is a very big ape. One of the biggest. It's like a monkey, but it's even bigger. Anyway, the cheer for G is like this. We'll do the sign language for G. And he's a gorilla. And his name is Greg. And Greg starts with a G and ends with a G. Can you hear that? Greg. Greg. And his cheer is G for Gorilla Greg. Guppies, gum, and grasshoppers. Grandma's glasses, giggling girls. G for Gorilla Greg. That's his cheer. All those words make you say G at the beginning because that's the sound G makes. Remember, after we do the cheer, we open up our big book of ABC things, and we are on the letter G. G. Let's look at some G things. Let's see, we have grapes, we have gold and guitar and gecko and goat and globe, that's like the earth, and gloves, goldfish, we have giraffe, we have glasses, and we have gorilla, like Gorilla Greg. Those are just some of the G things that things start with. Let's close the book. See if you can remember any of those things that start with the letter G. And since you're not here, I'll write them on let's see what we're going to write them on our ghost. Ghost starts with the letter G, and we have a white ghost for the letter G. Sometimes people dress up as ghosts for Halloween. Can you think of anything that we saw in that book that starts with the letter G? Let me give you a hint of one of them. They're sometimes purple and sometimes green, and they're a fruit, and you might like to eat them. Grapes, right. Let's do grapes. Grapes starts with the letter G. So we have grapes. What else? What's that animal that goes, meh? Not a sheep that goes, bah, but a different animal that goes, meh, and also could be found on a farm. Goat, good one. Goat starts with the letter G. What else? I sometimes wear these when I read because sometimes when people get older, they need to wear them when they read. You know what I'm talking about? Right, glasses. Glasses start with G. Let's put glasses down here. Let's think of one more thing. How about something you might wear in the wintertime to keep your hands warm? Gloves, good, gloves. Gloves starts with the letter G. Gloves. So now we have a few things that start with the letter G on our ghost. Next we do what's called rainbow writing. And you can do this in a notebook like I'm doing or on any piece of paper. And you can have a grown-up write a big G and a little g for you to trace. And if they put a red dot at the beginning of the big G and down here where the curve starts, that just shows you where to begin. So remember how we pick 3 colors. Any 3 colors you want. It can be crayons, it could be felt pens. I have felt pens and my first color is blue. Right, so I'm going to start at that dot. I'm going to go around. It's like making a circle, but then you stop and you go in with a line, a straight line in. That's the big G. The little g you start on the dot and you go around and make a little circle. That almost looks like a letter C, right? Or we also started the letter A like that and we started the letter D like that. A lot of letters start with this little curve at the beginning, go back to the dot and go straight line down and around. And that's the small letter G. G is the sound it makes. Let's do it 2 more times. Let's see, do you know what this color is? Purple, good. We're gonna start on the dot. We go around and in. Remember, it doesn't matter if you stay on the lines. It's just a way to show you how to make the letter. We start on the little red dot and we go around and make a circle. And then we go down. It's not a whole circle, it's more like a half circle. That's the G. Now, this next color is green. This time, I'm going to say the letter and the sound as I make the G. G, 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 G. And there I go, I rainbow wrote it. Now, after we rainbow write, remember we turn the page over, and on the back, we think of something that starts with the letter G. We have so many things to think about. Well, since I have purple right here, I think I'll draw something that we already wrote and we thought about and we saw in our book. Can you think of a fruit that's purple and round? Right, grapes. So a bunch of round circles. You know, I like circles. I've been drawing a lot of those for my pictures. I'm just going to make a bunch of circles and put a stem on it, and I'm going to call those grapes. I might want to color them in a little bit, make them really purple. My grapes are purple, but grapes could be green too. And now you can have a grown-up write what you wrote for your picture. They can write the word. I'm going to write grape. I drew grapes. So there we go. That's our rainbow writing. Now, remember the last thing we do is we look at a book. It's called Children on Safari, and it has all kinds of information about gorillas in it. Remember, my preschoolers wrote this book, so they're going to teach you some things about gorillas. They have lots of information. Gorillas are pretty interesting animals. Let's hear what some of them had to say. Jay said the leaders are called silverbacks. That's because they had silver on their back. Jack said to warn other gorillas, they hit their chest. When gorillas hit their chest, that means danger is nearby, and they want to warn the other gorillas. Alex said they don't have fur on their face, or the bottom of their feet, or the palms. The front part of your hand is this part. Is your palm. They don't have fur on that either, the palm of their hands. Brian said, most monkeys have tails, but apes, like gorillas, do not. Cole said they're the biggest of all the apes, but the babies are small. Andy said they protect their babies. And Julia said they eat leaves, fruit, flowers, and bugs. Let's see what's on this page. Maddie said their arms are longer than their legs. Tucker said the gorillas go in a group called a troop. A group of gorillas is called a troop. Sonia said the group is also called a band. They have 2 names for their group, a troop or a band. Don't my preschoolers know a lot? Boy, it was fun learning with them about it, and I have fun sharing with you too. And here's a picture of a gorilla. Look how big they are. This gorilla is black. I wonder if it has silver on its back. If it has silver on its back, it would be a silverback. It would be the leader of the gorillas. That's a big, big ape called a gorilla. So that's about gorillas. One other thing that my preschoolers did that's new that we haven't done yet is every week when we learn a different letter, they would bring things from their house that started with that letter, and they would share them with everyone and tell us what they were. And since they're not here to do that, I went around my house and I gathered up things that started with the letter G. You can do that when this is over. When this video is done, you can go around your house or your school and find things that start with the letter G. Here, I brought my bag, and in this bag are things that start with the letter G. Let's see if you can figure out what they are. Do you know what this is? It's called a golf ball. People hit it when they play golf. That's a golf ball. That starts with the letter G. Let's see what else is in here. Do you know what this is? You take cheese and you go down on it with the cheese, and it's called a grater. It grates the cheese and turns the big block of cheese into little pieces. That's a grater. That starts with G. You might have a grater in your house. Do you know what this is? I just found green. It was a block. We have these big Duplos in our preschool room, and they're green. This one's green. That starts with the G. Let's see what else I have in here. This is a girl. Girl starts with G. I found one of the dolls in the play area downstairs. And how about this? Glue. It's a glue stick. You might use those to do art projects with. Glue starts with G. I have one more. This is a type of a lizard or a gecko. Gecko starts with G. Geckos climb up the walls. They have sticky pads on their feet to help them stick to the walls. That's a gecko. And that is the last G thing in my bag. Before we go, let's do the cheer one more time. And remember, if you only remember that first line, that's all that you need to learn because that has the letter G sound in it. Let's try it together. First, we make the sign language. Remember, you can make a fist, put your pointer finger and your thumb out. It looks like you're saying just a little bit. And this is how the cheer goes. G-ga for Gorilla Greg. Guppies. Guppies are a really little fish, kind of baby fish. Gum and grasshoppers. Grandma's glasses, giggling girls. G-ga for Gorilla Greg. Thank you for joining me again today. I always like spending this time with you. And when you come back next time, we'll go on to the next letter. Do you know what letter comes after G? Let's look. We had G here, and next comes H. H says, H. And you can try and think of an animal that makes you say, H, when you start saying its name. See if you can come up with an animal that starts with the letter H before we meet again. Thanks again for joining me. I love spending this time with you. I love teaching you all about letters and letter sounds, and I'm so happy you're here with me to do that. Until we meet again, bye.